Real estate investing or small business ownership, what is the fastest way to become a millionaire? I'm going to break it down here. We're going to contrast the two of building wealth through real estate investing versus building wealth and starting a small business. Now, I've had the benefit of being a business and tax lawyer for over 20 years and worked with thousands of business owners and real estate investors who have became millionaires as I've worked with them. So I want to go over some of the common themes and ways they became successful so you can learn the fastest way for you. Let's talk about real estate investing first. The reason I want to hit real estate investing first, it is a more predictable, more likely, more easier way to become a millionaire. Small business is great. There's a lot of benefits to that. We're going to get to that. But real estate investing is the tried and true method. There are more millionaires made from real estate ownership and real estate investing than in any other category. So we got to talk about that first. All right, here's what's great about real estate. I can put limited amounts of cash down on deals. I can do creative financing. There's so many strategies on how to acquire real estate. And I, as the owner of the property, get the benefit of the growth and appreciation over time. I truly believe if you can look at this over a 10-year window of investing in real estate and you put your time and effort to it, it is easy to become a millionaire in real estate within 10 years. And frankly, if you can't do it in 20, something's wrong with you. This takes work. You need to learn the strategies. You need to put in the time. You need to learn the markets you're investing in, but you don't need a degree. You don't need a license. You don't need a special training. You can learn this on the job as you're out there learning and building a real estate investing portfolio. So what would I do if I was getting started? Now, I had the benefit of being a real estate lawyer, owning title companies. I got a lot of real estate experience, but if you didn't have that or you didn't have any entry into the real estate space, what should you do? Start going to your local RIA. Start talking to other real estate investors. Talk to the professionals in the real estate space, whether real estate agents or whatever it may be. Start getting in the circle of people who are in the real estate business. Now, as you look over my clients over the last 20 years, the subtype of client that I have that is most likely a real estate millionaire is a realtor or a contractor. I have so many of those clients that have a business. They might be self-employed or they even have a business where they employ other people as a contractor or real estate agent, but they've really built their wealth by investing in real estate. Because they've been in the industry, they had some skill. They were able to find value. They found deals. They had a network. If they're the contractor, they could go into a property and add value to it. They could put in sweat equity because we know real estate goes up over time. That is a huge advantage to your net worth as the owner of the real estate. And we can look at chart after chart of how rent has gone up, prices of properties have gone up over time, but you have to be willing to invest over time. Now, I said earlier that real estate investing is the easier way to become a millionaire, and here's why. It doesn't take specialized training. It doesn't take a mountain of money to invest in real estate. You don't have to have great credit. You don't have to have all this money. There are so many creative finance strategies in real estate and ways to acquire properties that it makes it approachable for everyone. Now, maybe you have a great job and you have good credit. You have some money set aside where you can go get traditional financing to acquire properties. That's a strategic advantage to you. But I'm just telling you, a lot of my real estate investing clients don't use banks to go acquire properties. They're using private money lenders, hard money lenders, creative financing strategies. And because of that, you don't have to have this large bank account to go and invest and acquire the property. Now, I want to break through a couple of myths here. Real estate investing, if you're trying to accelerate and build wealth, is not passive. That is total BS. A lot of people are like, oh, you're going to get mailbox money and tenants are just going to send you money. If you really want those properties to perform, to have great profit margins, to continue to build and acquire profitable properties and assets, it's going to take your work. The harder you work, the more you're out there, the better deals and opportunities you're going to find. Your network's going to expand and grow more. You're going to keep costs down on your properties by being intentional, by being involved on the properties. If you want to just have passive income, go get a freaking CD. Now, let's just run a couple examples here and let's be realistic about it. Let's say that you want to become a millionaire within 10 years and you're going to do it in real estate. How many properties do I need to acquire in order to hit that? Well, and this depends on a lot of facts and circumstances. It depends on the size of the deals, the market you're investing into. Is the real estate market in general up or down? There's a lot of variables here, but I want to be realistic about what that could be. So let's break this down by an example and let's just go over one property here to show how over a 10-year window this could perform and how you would build wealth on one property. Let's say that property is $400K. Let's say you're getting $3,500 a month in rent on that property and you have $3,000 a month in expenses. You got your mortgage payments, some property taxes, some insurance, maybe some property management, but you've got some money coming out of pocket. The first rule of thumb when buying rental real estate is we want to make sure the property cash flows. I don't want you having to pay out of pocket, out of your money you're making from your job to ever cover the mortgage payment. We want the property to cash flow and make us money. Now, are we really going to build wealth from the cash flow? No. we're not. We're truly building wealth from the appreciation of the property over time. But the cash flow lets us hold it with zero cost. The tenant is paying the mortgage and you're getting the benefit of all the appreciation. Now, we never know what the value of the property is going to be over time, but let's just assume 7% on a $400,000 property over 10 years is $800K. What's happened over that 10 years? Let's say you had a mortgage on it when you bought it for $360K. I've got all the upside of that equity right now. I'm not even talking about the mortgage I've paid down. I've immediately got $440,000 of equity in this property over 10 years. Now, I'm not talking about the cash flow that you might have accumulated. I'm not even getting to that. But we know that the appreciation of the property is where I'm truly going to build wealth when I'm investing over time, looking at maybe a 10-year, 15, 20-year window. But I think it's realistic to expect the property to double in value over a 10-year window. That's with a 7% annual rate of return on appreciation of the property. But what happened over that 10 years? The mortgage got paid down by my tenant. That $360,000 of mortgage debt is actually $280,000 of mortgage debt now. And guess who got the benefit of that? You, the real estate investor. So I got appreciation, mortgage reduction, and I was getting some cash flow over that 10-year window. Now, if I look and I sold that property now at year 10 for the market value of $800K, I got to pay off a $280,000 mortgage. I've got a profit on one property here of $520,000. So if the mortgage balance is now $280K, I got the benefit of the appreciation, I got the benefit of the mortgage reduction, and what's left? I'm getting all this money at the end as the real estate investor, $520K of profit when I sell that property. So if I want to become a millionaire, how many deals do I have to do in 10 years to do it? 2. That's it. 2 deals, and you become a millionaire in real estate. I've personally had better deals than this, and I've had worse deals than this. You might need to do 3 deals to get to the million in net worth. I'm just trying to give an example here of real numbers and teach the principle that you benefit as the owner of the real estate as the property goes up in value. Even with a little amount of cash down or no cash down, you get the benefit of the appreciation, you get the benefit of the mortgage reduction, and at the end of the day, you get to take home all the profit. Now let's transition over to small business. Small business has greater potential, not just to become a millionaire. There are more billionaires from business ownership than in any other method. And remember, I said there's more millionaires from real estate, and that's true, but there's more billionaires from business ownership because there is a higher upside for business ownership. Now, the downside to small business is you have more risk. It is more likely when you start a small business that it will fail. The most likely outcome of a small business is going to zero. So you have a lot more risk in starting a small business, but you have a higher potential. There is no cap on the amount of money you can make in a business if you scale it properly. Now, let me know a couple of factors I think is very important for business ownership and having success. It is not for everyone. I'm so frustrated by a lot of people like, I need to quit my 9-to-5 so I can start a business. Oh, really? You want to have a business now? You're now working 24/7, 365. Your IT, your customer service, your sales, and you're the freaking cleaning company too. You are the business. You are everything A to Z, and you're putting everything on the line here. Now, again, I got the huge upside. I'm a business owner. I freaking love it. It's a grind. It's a ton of work, but I'm going to make more money from my business than my real estate. Heck yes, I am. A lot more. Now, how do you become a millionaire from small business? Well, you obviously got to start, and you got to start getting revenue that is then turned into profit. When you first start a business, you will not have profit. You're going to have a ton of expenses getting this business off the ground, but you're going to start transitioning that revenue into some profit margin. So let's say you can get $100,000 in sales in year 1. Now, I want to be honest. In year 1, your profit margin, 0. You're lucky to break even. But let's say year 2, you get up to $200K in revenue. And now you've got $40K in profit. Now, by the way, when I say profit here, I mean you've been able to pay yourself enough money to run this business. Now, this is an important tip here, and this is just from my experience with working so many people that have started businesses from scratch. Start as a side hustle first. Do not go out and start a main hustle where you quit your day job, you go rent an office or a storefront, and you haven't even got the business off the ground. First, start out as a side hustle. Keep your day job. Do not put the pressure on the business and on yourself to have success from day 1. Do not try to live off that business in the second month it's open. It is not likely. It is not going to happen. You need to be able to grow into the business. Even the biggest companies that go out there and now and raise money from day 1 from big venture capital funds, they're not even trying to make money in the first 3 years. They know it's not reasonable. They know they need to be investing the dollars to grow the business, and your small business is no different. So make sure you are realistic with yourself. Keep a stream of income. Maybe you have a spouse with a stream of income you can rely on. Maybe you're going to keep your day job and start out as a side hustle. That is a really cool tip to having success to be able to grow and actually scale the business. But let's say in year 2, I do get $40K profit. This is one of the big factors you're going to face in growing your business. You stall out. Up to 200K, it was just Matt doing all the work. It's just you, business owner. You don't have employees, you don't have staff, you're doing everything. You're in year 2 here, and maybe you're taking 50K salary out of the business, and you got 40K of profit coming home. If you start living off of that profit and not reinvesting, what's gonna happen to that small business? It's gonna flatline. Your business requires investment to grow it. You have to be disciplined. The tricky thing with small business and really growing and scaling is you cannot take money off the table. You gotta live broke in growing and building that small business. And this is different from real estate. Your lifestyle might not change from real estate because you kept your day job. You kept your business or self-employment. Your real estate and net worth were growing behind the scenes as the properties were appreciating in value. In small business, you are gonna be super active and you're gonna be very tempted to take money off the table. So rule of thumb number 1, start with a side hustle. Rule of thumb number 2, reinvest the profits because you've gotta get scaled to the point where the business doesn't need you. So let's say you're a heating and air contractor. I had a client that scaled a heating and air business. I remember him from the very start. He was just a technician working in another HVAC company. And he was good, very personable, salesy guy, life of the party. Everyone loved him, but hardworking. I knew he had the traits to be successful in business. And so he came to me, we're setting up his LLC to get his business off the ground. I knew he was gonna be successful. And now he's got like 20 plus employees in his small business. But you gotta take all these different factors of what it takes to be a small business, and you cannot starve the business. Now that business owner, like everyone else, comes to a point where they've gotta hire their first employee. They've got to start spending money to make money. It's not just your time that's being spent. Now it's the profit, the money you could otherwise take home, go buy the nice car, go have the nice vacation, go upgrade the house, whatever the things you may want to do. You've got to be able to let that go and let that money get reinvested to hire employees who will make you money. Are they going to make you money next month? In 6 months? No, it might take a year. You know what? That employee might quit and you got to freaking start over and training someone. And this is the cycle. This is business ownership. But if you can get that rhythm going, where the business is growing, it's scaling, the profits are hiring the next person. And now you have all these people working for you, generating income from either services or products that you're creating. This is when your business growth starts to exponentially grow and where you're getting to take home the cash flow. A real estate investing portfolio is gonna grow slowly over time. As the market appreciates, you get mortgage reduction, maybe you're taking some cash flow home. But small business, particularly when you're starting from scratch, you're gonna exponentially start getting money later in the back half of this 5 to 10 year window. The first 1 to 5, not likely you're making big money, but the second half of the 5 to 10 is where you can have significant take-home pay that will pale in comparison, if you build and scaled it right, to a real estate portfolio. Well, I want to look at small business, and rather than looking at it growing sequentially over 1 to 10 years like we did with real estate, let's break it up into 2 windows of 1 to 5 and 5 to 10 years. That first 1 to 5 years, you're in build mode, you're in growth mode, you're building and scaling a team, and you want to try and get at least up to 5 employees. Now, when we're looking at employees, one number you really want to know is your revenue per employee. Each time I add a new employee, how much revenue does that add to my business? And you got to know those numbers. If that person can provide 200K in revenue and I got to pay them 75K all in, I've got 125K in profit. So one of the things you got to know is revenue per employee. So again here, now hang with me. If I got 5 employees and I know that my revenue per employee is 200K, I have $1 million of revenue now. If I know my per employee cost is 75K per employee, I know that's what my employee cost is, and typically payroll is gonna be your biggest cost. Now you're gonna have some other fixed costs and expenses. Maybe there's an office space, there's some insurance, there's some travel, there might be some auto, I don't know. There's other expenses, of course, that are gonna be in the business, but your primary one and the one that's gonna drag you down is gonna be payroll. But if you can generate revenue as you're adding employees, you will win in small business. Now let's look at this back half here in the second 5 to 10 years. Now what I'm doing is I'm starting to scale. Now I'm getting managers and people that can help run the business for me. Now that 5 employees can get to 15 employees. It's easier to scale once you already have a team and it's not just you. If I'm now at 15 employees at 200K of revenue per employee, that's $3 million, okay? I've got $3 million now in revenue. And at that 15 employees at 75K per employee, let's say that's all in, comp and benefits, we're at 1.1 million in expense there. That's your payroll expense for the employees generating revenue. You might have some others, you might have some support employees, you might have a bookkeeper or accountant. Obviously, like I said, you have some other fixed costs in the business, but that is not gonna be more than this 1.1 million. That is how you're gonna be taking home 1 million in profit a year in cash flow from the business, and why business ownership can be be much more powerful than real estate ownership in terms of what you can make. But you've got to scale it properly. You've got to pay your dues in the first 1 to 5 years. You're in build mode. You're in growth mode. You are sacrificing revenue and profits out of that business. It is super tempting to up your lifestyle. It is super tempting to go do the next thing financially that you want to feel rewarded for growing your business. But have the discipline to reinvest it, because you know the next 5 to 10 years is where you can really make significant profit or money. And that's how you can hit millionaire status as a small business owner. Now, what should you do? Invest in real estate or start a small business? It depends. I don't know. You got to think of the things that you have in your favor. And what is your passion? What do you love? Do you love real estate? Do you have credit? Do you like cutting deals? Do you like numbers? Do you like analyzing property? Are you a contractor or a real estate agent or someone that has a connection and already a network in real estate that can get you off the ground running from day one? Or do you have a special skill that's very valuable? I use the heating and air conditioner client, but there's so many other clients out there that have started businesses. They just did what they did in their job and created a business for it because they already were good at it and had a skill set and knew some people in that industry as well. Now, as I said at the front end, real estate investing and small business ownership are the two accelerators that can get you to become a millionaire faster than any other method. I hope you learned something in today's video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.